Well, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning here and Wednesday morning for you, or Wednesday afternoon or evening or Thursday, or depending on when you get a hold of this thing. It's good to talk with you again. Last week, if my memory serves me well, which sometimes you know how that goes, last week I talked about a heavy heart as we were moving into the passion and the death of Christ and the celebratory time of Easter and not being together as a family. So without spending more time in that heavy heart time, I thought I would make things a little bit lighter this week and this time. And let me start with a little bit of a light story that happened to me this morning, and I'll try to keep this brief. I went to one of the gas stations locally here this morning to get my morning fix of Diet Coke. And when I went up to the register and I pulled out my debit card and I stuck in my debit card, well, apparently the reader was having some problems and it was saying fail, chip fail, 2 or 3 different messages. I tried it 2 or 3 different times, and the last time I tried it, it was giving me these fails again. And so then I did the sign of the cross over the thing with the manager and the other person behind the counter, and instantly it worked. And it was hilarious. The next thing I did, now you have to be a little bit of a Star Wars bug to be able to get this piece, but in the theme of Star Wars, you have the dark side and the Force, which was the Force for good, and the Jedis were the Force for good. Well, they had this neat ability to put thoughts into people's minds, and so they would do this trick, like the person. They don't want that person to see them, so they'd go like this and say, "You do not see me," and the person would respond, "I do not see you," and then they could move on. Well, I did one of those little Jedi things after I did my little cross on the card reader. I kind of did this and I went, "You will accept my card. I will accept your card." And the gal behind the counter apparently knew the whole Jedi thing and just got a real good kick out of that. So who knows how God works in these funny things. So anyway, that's just a cute little story from my morning this morning. I thought, I trust that you all are keeping safe and things are going well and you find things to entertain yourself, like my simple mind finds a lot of simple things to entertain itself in these days. I read this morning a meditation that I get every morning from Father Richard Rohr, and I thought I would read a little bit that he shared this morning, and I have it on my laptop, and let me share with you his words this morning, and it has to do with struggle and suffering and difficulty. Here's what Father Rohr says. He writes, "Jesus says, there's only one sign I'm going to give you, the sign of the prophet Jonah," which, then he goes on to say, "Sooner or later, life is going to lead us, as it did Jesus, into the belly of the beast, into a situation that we can't fix, can't control, and can't explain or understand. That's where transformation most easily happens. That's when we're uniquely in the hands of God. Right now, it seems the whole world is in the belly of the beast together. But we are also safely held in the loving hands of God, even if we do not yet fully realize it. All of us experience the absurd, the tragic, the nonsensical, the unjust, but we do not all experience pain in the same way, so try not to judge others too harshly for their reactions. We don't know what has brought them to this point. However, if we could see all our wounds as the way through to their transformative effect, as Jesus did, then they would become sacred wounds and not something to deny, disguise, or export to others. The genius of Jesus' teaching is that he reveals that God uses tragedy, suffering, pain, betrayal, and death itself, not to wound or punish us, but to bring us to a larger identity." The words of Father Richard Rohr. And may I leave you with this prayer, and this is Father Rohr's prayer this morning for this meditation. "O great love, thank you for living and loving in us and through us. May all that we do flow from our deep connection with you and all beings. Help us become a community that vulnerably shares each other's burdens and the weight of glory. Listen to our hearts' longings for the healing of our world. Knowing you are hearing us better than we are speaking, we offer these prayers in all the holy names of God. Amen. Amen.